This is my 1977 mini speedboat. I just picked this thing up for $400. It is 8 foot long by 4 foot wide, I believe. Very tiny. I don't know what size motor goes on this, but I really want to put a big 50 horsepower motor on it. I don't know if that will work, but we're gonna try to make it work. As you can see, a lot of body work has already been done to this. The guy I bought it from said the previous owner did a bunch of work to it, fixing it, putting a new floor in, and fixing the transom area. I'm gonna double check it all before I mount anything up to it and make sure it's all sturdy. On the top here, the paint job is starting to chip a little bit, especially on the sides right here. I do like the paint job. I might restore it, maybe repaint it all and make it match again. I would also like to maybe put a radio and new seats and stuff in here. These seats are in okay shape, but the brown doesn't really look very good. It came with a lot of the wiring already ran. It has the control for a Yamaha outboard, and the steering is all hooked up and working. I'm pretty excited to test this thing out and see how fast I can get it to go. I don't know how well it'll show up on camera, but this thing is tiny compared to the jet ski. I'm gonna go in more detail about this thing once I learn more about it. I don't really know a whole lot about this. I'm still skeptical on the year because I don't really know. So if you guys have any information on these things, like when they were produced, where they were produced, what size motor can go on it, leave it in the comments and let me know, please. We're gonna be working on this in another episode, but for now, let's go ahead and work on some other things I have planned today. Being a YouTuber is amazing. It's amazing, but it's a lot of work, and people don't understand how much work actually goes into it. And another big thing is if you watch a lot of YouTubers, you always wonder about what goes on after a project is done, or if a project just vanishes out of nowhere. And that's what I'm gonna cover in this episode. We're gonna go back and look over a lot of my previous projects that I still have laying around. I try to sell most of them because I don't like them sitting around, but some that I haven't finished and some that I kept, and just other ones that I'm currently working on. We're gonna go over those real quick. Another thing that tends to happen is stuff gets piled up and put on the back burner for so long, you honestly forget about doing it. You have all this stuff that you need to do, but you're constantly working towards the next episode, so it doesn't ever really get done. But we're gonna be handling a lot of that stuff in this episode, going over things I need to do, things that still need to get done, and just a lot of little things to like my daily drivers that I need to fix that just keeps getting put off because I'm working on big projects. So that's what we're gonna do this episode. First thing I wanna tackle though is all the lighting. I have new lighting for my garage, I have new lighting for my parents' garage, and I have lighting for our new carport that we just got in last week. A lot of lights to hang. First thing we're gonna start with is my garage, finishing that up. The lighting I'm installing is super modern, it's very bright. It's gonna help a lot for painting cars and working on cars, and it's gonna show up really well on camera, the lighting in there. Gonna handle that first, and then I'm gonna move to the carport and then my parents' garage. I'm gonna show you guys how to install all that, and it should be pretty easy. This stuff is pretty easy. Let's do that first. We're gonna start in my garage. These lights make a huge difference. It's so much brighter in here. It looks way cooler. That's a big plus. And lastly, these aren't very hard to install at all. I can install them by myself. It is a little bit easier if you have some help. So I'm gonna hold it up there while you screw in the screws, but you can do it by yourself and it looks pretty good. I do have some pieces left over. You don't usually have leftover pieces, but I had to shorten this whole thing by a little bit because it wouldn't fit between here and my wall. But I have extra pieces if I need them. But I think my plan is I'm gonna buy one more and I'm gonna use all the extra pieces to continue on up here and install a little bit more Hexagon lightings with a border around it. I should have enough pieces if I order one more kit. And I think I'm gonna do that because I think it'll look a lot better in here. Moving outside to install these floodlights out in front of my garage and off to the side. That way if I'm working late out here and the sun's going down, I can turn these on and finish up a little bit of work I need to do. Or if I'm trying to back something up into our new carport, I can do that and shouldn't have a problem seeing at night because these things are very bright. New carport, man, this thing is massive. I love it a lot. Install 4 lights up here. That was plenty enough to light up this whole area, plus more. It is very bright back here. It's all hooked up to a switch over here, and all good. We already had power ran out here for an old clubhouse that used to be here. And my dad went ahead and wired it all up with conduit and ran all the wires. So all I had to do was install the lights. And installing the lights was very easy. I added a little eye hook and then just hung the lights because the lights hang on a hook up there. Hung them up there, install them in, easy enough to do. Anyone can do it. These hanging lights along with the floodlights are from Hyperlite.com. You guys can check those out. The link is in my description if you guys are looking for some outdoor lighting for either a carport, your garage, or outside your house. Good option if you guys are looking for that. Links in my description. And lastly, my parents liked my garage lighting a lot, so I actually installed this for them. I didn't tell them about it, but I installed it for them. This is just regular Hexagon lighting, no border around it. Easy to hook up. It comes with all the clips and screws you need and some extra connectors if you want to connect it all together like I did. I got 2 packs of the 5 hexagons and 2 packs of the 3, and that was enough to cover all this area. If I were to get a little bit more, I think I could cover this whole ceiling if I wanted to. But these are plenty bright enough right now to light up the whole garage. And it looks so much better. Looks really cool, especially with the Jeep in here and the light shining off of it. These lights are very light. You don't need to screw them into studs or anchors or anything. So you can just screw it right into your drywall. No need to worry about it falling because it is very light. I install all this into straight drywall. And I have no doubt that's gonna hold up. And I could even add more over here if I wanted to. The links for all these lights are in the description. The ones with the border, the ones without the border, plus the hanging lights and the floodlights. You guys can check those out if you are looking for lighting. That was something that really needed to get done, and we got it done. So now on to the next project. This here is my 2002 Jeep Wrangler that I've been kind of rebuilding. It's been a while since I've worked on it, but I have been daily driving it quite a bit. This and my Bug also, daily driving it, switching on and off. And it's been a fun vehicle. I wouldn't say reliable, but it has been a really fun vehicle, and I really enjoy driving it. But there is a few issues that have happened and are still happening that we need to fix. Last month when I was heading to a store, I blew a power steering line. I ended up fixing that because I was still daily driving this. I went ahead and replaced them both because they were both dry rotted and look a little rough. So went ahead and replaced both of those. Got that out of the way. But we still have 2 issues. One is a wiring issue and one is a check engine light issue. But I think I know what's wrong with kind of both of them. I think. We'll have to do a little bit of diagnosing, but I think we can figure it out. Now the first issue is with the wiring, and that has to do with the turn signals mixed with the windshield wipers and a little bit the headlights too. They all kind of work sometimes. let me explain a little bit better. My left turn signal functions properly sometimes it doesn't. And then my right turn signal flashes really fast, which usually means there's a light bulb out. The issue is I replaced that light bulb already and it's still doing the same thing. So it might be some kind of wiring issue going on up there. But another major issue is if I turn on the headlights, my windshield wipers come on. Windshield wipers aren't on at all. And also both of these lights stay on as if the front turn signals are always on. The headlights kind of work, that one works. This one, it's on, but not very bright. So what I'm thinking is it's some kind of ground issue. Let me turn the wipers off. Turn the headlights off, then that will turn the wipers off. So what I'm thinking is some kind of ground issue. There's a loose ground or a unplugged wire somewhere. I'm guessing that's more towards it. We're gonna have to look up the front and check all the ground connections see if that fixes the issue. If it doesn't, I read online that this switch will go bad and start causing a lot of weird issues in it. So if I can't fix it with the ground issue, we're gonna replace this and see if that fixes the issue. Now the next issue is a check engine light. And I checked this about a month ago also, and it gave me some kind of weird code. I don't really remember exactly what it was, but it was something to do with a thermostat. It said like the engine was too cold, and then I did some research on it, and that's usually a thermostat problem. It still runs fine, it runs great, but that check engine light is an issue, and we want to fix that, so we might have to replace the thermostat. Let me double check the code real quick and make sure that's the only issue. This top code is the one I was talking about, with the engine is too cold too long. It's a weird code. I've never seen one of those before, but from what I've read, it's the thermostat. And then these other codes are new. I haven't seen these yet. Evap system could be just from my gas cap being off whenever I was running it. So I don't think either of those are that big of a deal. We'll look more into those if they keep coming up. But for now, we'll just erase the codes, and then we're going to get that thermostat replaced. That's what's up next. Let's go ahead and get this thing taken apart and hopefully fixed. Let's do that. It is fixed. Looks so much better too. The fenders make a big difference. Now this Jeep is not pretty by any means. It still needs its full makeover, and it's gonna have a really big makeover once I get to it. But right now it's running properly. No check engine lights. Sounds good, turns good. Fixed the headlight and the wiper issue. It was just a random ground that was like falling off, so I tried to remove it and clean it, but the bolt was stuck, so I just made a new spot for it. All good. Turn signal, the connector is all messed up, so I have to order another one of those that comes in tomorrow, and I'll just replace that. It's pretty easy to get to. It's right underneath here. It's actually on the other side, but I switched them to make sure that was the issue. This old thermostat was actually stuck open, and that's why I guess the motor was staying cool too much. I don't know. Weird. You see like there's some corrosion or something in it. I'm not really sure what was going on with it, but we got it fixed. Rough Country sent me out some new fender flares because mine were in very rough shape. They were old and kind of falling apart, and they wanted to make this thing look a little bit better. So huge thank you to them. Their link is in my description if you guys are looking for some new fender flares, because they go bad pretty fast, especially in Florida with the sun hitting it all the time. This is all fixed up for the time being. I still drive this around every day, but here soon we're gonna be working fully back on this. We still need to fix the whole frame issue and give it a full makeover. I don't want to give out too many details about this thing, but it's going to change very drastically. Now on to the next project. This is next on the list of things to fix. This is my 2012 Volkswagen Beetle off-road apocalypse, whatever you want to call it, rusty patina Beetle, whatever you want to call it. My good friend and fellow YouTuber Sam Crack actually gave this to me. When he gave it to me, it was wrecked, the motor was blown, the interior was pretty much shot, it was smoked in, it was really bad. And we fixed it all and made it look like this. This has been my main daily driver for a couple years now, and it has been a very great vehicle. I haven't done much to it just besides oil changes and a little bit of here and there maintenance. The biggest thing I had to do to it was replace both the CV axles in the front. That's just normal maintenance for how many miles are on it. It's almost at 100,000 miles right now on the body, and the motor itself has around 80,000. Also a big thing with CV axles, if it has a lift on it, that tends to wear them out a little bit faster. But other than that, this vehicle has been very good to me. One minor thing this thing needs fixed right now is it needs an oil change pretty badly. It's a little overdue for that. But the major issue I'm having right now is I'm getting water inside on my floorboards. We just recently had a hurricane here in Florida, and it got really bad. I had probably a half an inch full of water up on my front floor pans. So we have to fix that issue because it is starting to mold and it smells pretty bad in there. My car's kind of a mess too. I need to clean it out along with everything else I need to do. But let me show you the mold that's going on. Now a lot of it has dried up, but it's still a little damp, and you can see the mold right here. It's right there, it's on the other side too, and especially in the back here, it's getting some mold. Definitely need to get that fixed, and I don't know where it's leaking from. That's the problem we need to figure out. I did a little bit of research, and there's like drain plugs, I guess, up here in the front cowl section. So that's where we're gonna start. I might use a hose to try to spray some water and see if we can see where it's coming from. But we need to fix that before we can tackle the interior. Actually, we're probably gonna have to remove all this interior anyway, so we might do that first and then start figuring out what's going on with the water leak, because we need to clean all this mold up. And really the only way to do that is to take out the carpet and clean it properly. So unfortunately, all of these seats have to come out. The center dash has to come out. Maybe the rear seat too. But that's the main issue, and I need to fix it before it gets even worse. So let's get to that. We got the oil change, we took out the carpet, cleaned it, took out the foam insulation and cleaned that too. And also fixed the water leak in the back that I forgot to tell you guys about. I had a water leak in the back I had to fix. I cleaned it up in here a little bit too. I didn't fully detail it, but this is my daily driver. I'm not too worried about it. But carpet looks so much better. I pressure washed it all out and cleaned it really good, vacuumed it off. Same thing with the foam insulation. That took a couple days to dry, but I was able to get it to dry. Moving to the back here, this is an aftermarket spoiler that I installed, and I forgot to plug up some of the holes, and also around the screws, the gasket was wearing out, and I think that's how water was getting into the back here and filling up my spare tire wheel well, and that was causing a bit of an issue. I don't think that was the issue for up here, because it would have to travel up and then back down, and it doesn't get that much water in it, so I don't think that was the issue. Not really sure, but that is fixed now, and I don't have to worry about that. That was a big problem that I never really got around to fixing. As for the front here, I don't know where it was leaking from. I checked everywhere. I checked around here, and all that just drains straight outside. It doesn't even come near going inside. I checked up in the wheel well, maybe it was splashing water up in there. I couldn't see anything. I don't know what the issue might be. The only thing I can think of is, you see how whenever I open the door, the window will go down a little bit? That happens every time you open the door, and sometimes this thing will, I don't know, not go up fully, and then it will stay down overnight. And I come back out here and my seats are a little wet, just from the dew or from the night rain. That happens sometimes. I have to reprogram the windows for it to fully go up again. Maybe that happened during the hurricane and it just got so much water in it that it just stayed like that for a while. That's the only thing I can think of the issue being. I looked everywhere up in here trying to find where the water was coming from, and I saw no signs of water getting in anywhere. So I don't know what the issue is. If it starts molding again, we'll have to take it back apart and fully figure it out. But for now, it smells a lot better in there, it looks a lot better. Nothing to worry about right now. It is a relief to get all this stuff done. It's just stuff that builds up over time. I'm working on their projects, so it gets left in the dust, basically, because a lot of this stuff takes time. Installing all the lights, working on the Jeep, working on this thing took about a week, and I like to use that week of time to work on my main projects for the channel. So thank you guys so much for watching this. I know it's not super interesting, but I do appreciate you guys following along with the builds and seeing an aftermath of them. I use a lot of them. Some of them I sell. Some of them I'm still waiting to get to, like the surf jet. I have the parts for that. I just got to get back into it. And then also like my new project that I have going on that I'm going to start looking for parts for and work on the side maybe. You guys can check out my other social media platforms like Instagram and TikTok. I post behind the scenes on there or exclusive content on there. You guys can check that out if you want to. If not, I will catch you guys on another episode. Back on the boat, back on the new boat, back on my Jeep. Don't really know yet. We'll figure that out. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.